If you're just joining us, we were just talking about what's happening nationally in the real estate market. Are we in a bubble? Are we about to burst? In the short term, I think the answer is no. I think we still have some momentum left in this market. I am concerned that the data that's being shared by some websites and by some folks that are deemed to be reliable by the general population are only getting half of the story. And as a result of that, I think that it's shaping, I think it's maybe sometimes causing a little more confusion than gaining clarity in terms of what's happening in the real estate market. It is a complicated landscape to navigate. I can say that. I was fortunate in that in 2006 when I got licensed, I understood as somebody fresh out of college that in order for me to be successful in this business and to truly be valuable to my clients, I needed to understand what was going on in the market. I needed to be a resource for them. I needed to be a value add rather than just somebody that facilitated a transaction. And then by the time 2008 rolled around and the market crashed, I was positioned for that. I understood what I needed to do to help people. And by 2009, I was in the top 1% of agents in the market as a 24, 25-year-old. And I've been there ever since, helping people make the best decisions possible given the dynamics of the real estate market, so that when it comes time for them to buy, sell, or invest, they win. That's what this show is about, is arming you with that information. So I just want to, just take a moment and say thank you to those of you that listen to this program. I've been on here 8 years. I love coming on here and telling you guys kind of like it is about the real estate market. I don't necessarily have to worry about pulling punches, but this is really just, I've been doing this for 16 years, and I'm at the point in my career where there's not much that I do to beat around the bush with people. I'm not one to gloss over things. I want you guys having a really good understanding of the process of the market, have reasonable expectations, and then work with somebody that's going to work their tail off to create results for you. So I'd just like to say thank you for listening to the program. Now, we're going to talk about what is happening locally. We just talked about what's going on nationally. We know that in addition to kind of what I mentioned, the White House has recently announced some additional measures to help struggling homeowners and to help them avoid foreclosure as they kind of exit forbearance, which initially we had several million people in. And, a little over 40% of them actually paid what they were supposed to pay and worked it out. About a little under 20% did not have an exit strategy or an exit plan after the forbearance was due. And so you've got, a little over 50-ish percent, about 50-ish percent of people that are in some sort of workout solution, a loan modification. And we know that based on kind of last time, people that go into a loan modification, 65% of them fail. They result in a foreclosure or short sale. So we know that the White House is, trying to help with this forbearance exit strategy, including things like loan modifications, payment reductions. Any borrower with a federally backed mortgage can lock in lower interest rates. They can extend the length of their mortgage. For the folks that just can't kind of get back on track and resume their monthly mortgage, HUD will offer lenders the ability to provide all eligible borrowers with a 25% principal and interest reduction. So there's just, and don't get me wrong, I like that there are some options for folks should they really, truly need it. Of course, the concern is that anytime we have an injection of money, that we're going to pay for it at some point in the future. And I know they're just trying to do the lesser of two evils. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of just spending our way out of this problem. And I think there are plenty of you that are listening that would absolutely agree with me on that. But even with all, everything that's happening right now, inventory is still an issue. has been for years and years and years. If we look at the amount of properties that we've put on the market in Charleston, year to date, compared to this time last year, we've put about 600 more homes on the market compared to, and this is for the end of July. We don't have August numbers yet, obviously, but new listings, new properties to hit the market is up 4%. So we put about 600 more homes on the market. If we look at properties that are going under contract, at the end of July, we put a little over 15,000 homes under contract. This time last year, it was a little over 13,000. So that's up 14%. The number that have sold, we've sold a little over 14,000. Whereas in 2020, at the end of July, we'd sold 11,600. So that's up 23%. 23% more transactions at higher prices, by the way. So what's been interesting to watch is that over the past, several years, kind of dating back to, I want to say like 2016, 2017, the days on market, it was about 2 months on average in the Tri-County area. It's been kind of trending downward a little bit as we kind of crossed that 2018 threshold. There was a little spike in there, and then obviously we had a little spike with COVID. But then it seems like things started to fall off a cliff. Now we're at, July of last month, 14 days, average days on market compared to 51 in July of 2020. So that's down 73%. And then we look at the median sales price. You're going to hear different numbers on different things, and it's important you understand, all right, are we talking median here? Are we talking average? Which is more important? Which should we use? Personally, I like using the median because of the variety of property that we sell in Charleston. You've got first-time home buyer properties, you've got trailers in the outskirts of the Tri-County, and you've got $10 million homes in downtown Charleston and on the beach. So if you're going to remove the outliers, then let's use the median sales price, which is up 17% from this time last year. The median sales price in Charleston is $340. This time last year, it was $290. But if you want to look at the average, if you really want to go for the dramatic factor, then the average sales price is up 24%. Average sales price in the Charleston Tri-County area is $481,069. This time last year, it was $388,207. So that's up 24%. That's why we've got all these folks that have started calling us. They're kind of shocked at how much they think their home is worth, because we're having a lot of folks that are just reaching out to us and they're like, I wonder what my home is worth. I don't necessarily want to sell it right now, but it just might make sense. Maybe it does make sense to go ahead and sell this home. Like a lot of folks that we've been selling homes with have decided to downsize just a little sooner than they intended. Man, I'd love to just get top dollar for this place, transition into something else, secure at a low mortgage before things potentially go crazy with all this inflation that's going to be impacting us at some point in the future. They see things like 24, 25%, and their heads turn, and they're like, all right, well, let's at least investigate this. And that's what we've been helping a lot of folks do, is let's just have a conversation about where you are right now, where we think things are going to go, and does it make sense to do something right now? Should we wait? If there's no pressure, there's no pressure. It gives you the ability to make a sound decision rather than kind of a reactionary decision based on emotion. And that's what we always try to do, is we try to bring the facts into the equation, not operate off of emotion. Then if we start to look at things like the Housing Affordability Index, which we talked about last segment, nationally, it's, in January, it was around 180, and by May, it was in the mid 150s. Here in Charleston, let me just get to that slide. Yep, in July of 2021, it was at 80. This time last year, it was at 92. So that's down 13%. And just so you guys understand, again, the Housing Affordability Index takes three things into account: home prices, interest rates, and wages. So the index really measures affordability for a region. For example, an index of 80 means that the median household income is 80% of what is necessary to qualify for the median priced home under prevailing interest rates. A higher number means more affordability. The lower the number is, the more it becomes a problem. So we're under 100% now. So with a affordability index locally of 80, that means 80% of median household income is 80% of what is necessary to qualify for the median priced home under prevailing interest rates. So that's, people are getting priced out of the market. Is our price increases locally sustainable? Well, maybe not for us that live here locally, that haven't seen those wage increases to keep up with those price increases. But think about all the people that are moving here from other markets that have more expensive real estate. They've got money to spend. They can work remotely, and they can take advantage of our homes and their affordability, as opposed to, being in New York or Chicago or LA or wherever. But there's a lot of those folks moving to this area, and they're not batting an eye at paying more than what a property is worth, because in the grand scheme of things, it's less than what they were paying for something not as nice as what we have here. And that's the challenge for folks that live here locally is, if you're going to get into a bidding war with one of those folks and they have, maybe they are less stressed about paying more than what somebody is asking, because no buyer out there really wants to pay more than what someone's asking for something. I don't care if it's a pen or a house. No one likes to pay more than what somebody has established as their asking price for something. And that's really what I want to talk about in kind of this last segment, which we're going to go to in just a second before I finish the remainder of these stats is, as a buyer, as a seller, what do we do right now? How do we navigate this? What should the train of thought be? When is too much? At what point do we just say no? What point do we stop? I want to leave you with the month supply of inventory, which the month supply of inventory is the inventory of homes for sale at the end of a given month divided by the average monthly pending sales for the last 12 months. As of right now, we have 1 month supply of inventory. This time last year, we had 2.7 months. We have had less than 2 months supply of inventory since November of last year. In fact, in April, May, and June, we were under a month. Meaning, if we didn't put anything else on the market, we'd be sold out in a month. If you look back at, 2009, between the first and second quarter of 2009, we had like 17 months supply of inventory. That's a buyer's market. A normal market is around 5. So obviously still very much so a seller's market. So are we in a bubble? Is this thing about to burst? People tend to think that, hey, if we're about to burst, if we're not in a boom, then we're in a bust. What I would tell you is that we are starting to see some signs that we are returning to normalcy because of the exhaustion that people have mentally and emotionally, and the financial exhaustion associated with rising prices and decreased affordability. It's just naturally going to happen. So stick around. We're going to talk about how we navigate this when we come back. Keep listening to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. And if you want to reach out to me, give me a call, 843-400-8009. That's 843-400-8009. Or check us out online at listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com.
More stimulating talk on real estate matters with Brian Beatty. Next on 1250 WTMA.